So the UFC is back after a break, and they're in Kansas City, Missouri. Ironically, not even Kansas City, Kansas. It's Kansas. They couldn't even go to Kansas. They just went to Kansas City. But anyway, the weird geography in the Twin City thing aside, because there is Kansas City, Kansas, and there's Kansas City, Missouri. But anyway, all that around, this isn't Benny P geography, which I would do really good at. But this is Benny P MMA. So let's talk about this card. First, we have Chelsea Chandler versus Jocelyn Edwards. I'm gonna trust in Jocelyn Edwards to get this one done. I don't really like either of these women as potential future champions or anything like that. That's definitely not going to be the case. But Edwards, she hasn't lost to the worst women. She does win. Did get taken down and mauled by Jessica Rose Clark. That is interesting. Chelsea Chandler beat Jocelyn Nunez as well, didn't she? Oh, this is such a tough fight to predict. Her wins are actually a lot better. I mean, her losses aren't as bad now that I'm looking at it. And she is like a wrestler. You know what? I'm gonna go Chelsea Chandler to pull off the upset here. I think she's gonna be able to beat Jocelyn Edwards because she can get takedowns. And if you take down Jocelyn Edwards, she will not get back to her feet. So I'm gonna go Chelsea Chandler to get this one done. Then we have Timmy Coyamba versus Roberto Romero. I'm going Roberto Romero. I mean, the guy almost knocked out David Onama. Like, does any else have to be said? Then Timmy Kiomba lost to Oki. Then he lost to Lucas Almeida. And I'm gonna say he's gonna win this fight too. I also thought he didn't beat Mateo Vogel. This guy, I thought this guy beat him. To be honest with you, I watched that fight 2 years ago, and I thought Kiomba lost. I think that Roberto Romero. I know his record doesn't look the greatest on paper, 8-4, but that fight he almost beat David Onama on short notice. He's an action fighter. He's like a worse Diego Lopez, I want to say. Has the same sort of style. He's powerful, and I think he'll be able to beat. I think he'll be able to beat Kiomba. To be honest with you guys, and I don't think Kiomba's like. I think these guys are a similar level, but I don't think Kiomba's like that great. So I am going to go with Roberto Romero to get this one done. Then moving on up, we have Jacqueline Amorim versus Poliana Viana. This is an interesting fight. Very interesting fight. Of course, we have a Sam Hughes victim here. Of course, Sam Hughes just always beats the prospect somehow and loses to the veterans. That is women's MMA. You have a fancy, nice record, you're going to lose to Sam Hughes. But Poliana Viana, she's on a bit of a losing streak at the moment. All submissions, ground and pound loss. Now, it's always the grappling that seems to get her. She's fighting a jiu-jitsu champion, I think, if I remember correctly. This is the one who is the jiu-jitsu champion. A lot of submissions. I like her to get this one done. I think she's going to sub Poliana Viana. So that's how I'm going to go. Who do the odds have this? Yeah, the odds have it right, I reckon. I can't see Poliana Viana winning this. She might get a knockout, but I doubt it. Then we have Cameron Simon versus Malcolm Wellmaker. This is an interesting fight. This is an interesting fight because I feel that I don't know. I feel like Simon could get this one done, but I am going to go Wellmaker just because Simon has taken a lot of damage. So yeah, I'm going to go with Wellmaker in this fight. I think he will be able to beat Cameron Simon. Simon's just taken too much damage for my liking in his last couple of fights. The Peyton Talbot fight, he took an insane amount of damage. I mean, he's taken a good amount of time off, but his defense needs a lot of work. And Wellmaker can crack, so I'm going to go Wellmaker. Then we have Damon Blackshear versus Alian Hali and Hali Ali Alatengen Haley. We got Damon Blackshear versus the Mongolian Knight. Let's just say that, all right? I think Damon Blackshear will win this fight. I'm pretty confident in him. Besides getting chinned immediately by Montel Jackson, he's a very solid fighter. He's taken a pretty quick turnaround, literally like a month and a week from when he fought last. I like that. I worry that he's not going to make the weight, but I think he'll be able to beat Oliang Tali, the Mongolian Knight, who, beat Clayson Rodriguez, but in a very, very mediocre performance. Lost to Chris Gutierrez. He is like underrated though. He's got a lot of wins. Hasn't lost to anyone too bad, but I do think Damon Blackshear will be able to beat him. So I'm going to go Damon Blackshear. Then moving on up the card, we have Chris Gutierrez versus John Castaneda. This fight has been booked for what feels like forever. It's been scheduled to happen multiple times. Every time it seems something pulls through, something makes this fight not happen. But if this fight does happen, I'm going to still go with Chris Gutierrez. I picked him the first two times this fight was booked. I think we had an on-the-day cancellation on one of these. But I really like Chris Gutierrez in this fight. I just think he'll win. I just think he's better than John Castaneda. And I think that's all, that's all I should really say. Chris Gutierrez is very good, has competitive fight with good guys. And I think he's going to get this one done over John Castaneda. So, yeah, I'm going Chris Gutierrez. Then we have Evan Elder versus Gage Young. Oh, my God. The reason this fight is on is insane. I might make a video talking about that. Because, yeah, Jesus Christ. If you don't know, just look up Ahmed. What's the guy's name? Who was Elder meant to originally fight? Look up Ahmed Hassanda. Hassanda. Look at what that guy has done for this fight to get cancelled. Like, it's insane. Burn it down. Like, guy did some horrendous stuff. He's not in the UFC anymore, and that's all I'm going to say for now. But anyway, Evan Elder versus Gage Young. This is a much tougher fight for Evan Elder because Gage Young is significantly better than Ahmed. Ahmed was horrible. The guy shouldn't have even been signed to the UFC. I generally don't think there's a single person who would beat. That guy was chinny, had very bad cardio, not very technical, just tall, but very bad. Just a very bad fighter, very low skill guy, not really that great anywhere. Now Evan Elder's fighting a guy in Gage Young, who on the Contender Series looked very good. He lost to Quillen Sauerkid, who I think is a phenomenal fighter. And Gage Young, he showed very good takedown defense, very good power. He's very, very good. But it's tough. It honestly is tough. I'd imagine Young is probably an underdog. There's no odds on it yet. But this is an interesting fight. Like, honestly, interesting fight. I've got to go with Evan Elder just because I've seen him against like good levels of competition. He was beating the Nazim Sadikov before a doctor stoppage got him in the third round, which really is like impressive to me. Like, if you're having a competitive fight with Nazim Sadikov, you're definitely the real deal. So yeah, I'm gonna go Evan Elder, but Gage Young could definitely pull this off. Like, I'm not doubting that he could definitely like maybe crack Evan Elder because he has been cracked, but I'm gonna go Gage Young. Then we have Matt Schnell versus Jimmy Flick. I'm honestly sort of surprised at these odds, to be honest with you guys. Jimmy Flick is the significant underdog. I guess I sort of understand it, but this is an interesting fight. Jimmy Flick probably won't chin Matt Schnell. He's actually never gotten a win by knockout, I don't think. Yeah, all of these fights are decisions or submissions, which is very interesting. Guy's been fighting since 2009 as well, which is crazy. And to beat Matt Schnell, you do need to be able to chin him, but Cody Durden didn't chin him. He subbed him. Yavani, this is an interesting fight, to be honest. He got guillotine choked by Brandon Royval after dropping him. That was a weird one. Got ninja choked by Cody Durden. The thing is, if I pick Jimmy Flick and he loses, I'm really going to regret it because he's going to lose very clearly. That's the annoying thing about him. What's the age difference? I'm gonna go Jimmy Flick. I'm probably gonna regret this, but I'm gonna go Jimmy Flick. Moving on up, we have Ikram Aliskirov versus Andre Muniz. I'm going Ikram Aliskirov here. I think he will get this one done. Andre Muniz is just one dimensional. He's got like alright striking. I will say that is like a part of his game that is underrated. He does strike pretty well. Like he was out striking Brendan Allen, but then he got subbed. So I feel like maybe his jiu-jitsu is overrated, but his like striking is underrated. But I think Ikram Aliskarov is just better everywhere, like on the feet, on the ground. Jiu-jitsu probably not better jiu-jitsu, but I think he'll be able to beat Andre Muniz here. So I'm gonna go Andre Muniz. I'm gonna go Ikram Aliskirov, probably by KO. I reckon he'll probably get a TKO stoppage on Andre Muniz. Then we have Randy Brown. So I went Ikram Aliskirov there. Now we got Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. I'm going to go Randy Brown here. I think he'll win this fight. Nicholas Dalby seems to do really good in these underdog roles. Like I will give that to him. The guy is a very good underdog. Like he will fight for your money. But that being said, I have to go with Randy Brown here. He's just longer. He's younger. Like Nicholas Dalby, he's surely got to slow down now. His pressure style, I don't know if it'll work with a guy with a 4-inch longer reach, better striker. I've got to go Randy Brown. So yeah, I'm going to go Randy Brown to get this one done. Then moving on up, we have Michelle Pereira or Michelle Pahea versus Abbas Magomedov. I'm going to go with Michelle Pahea here. I think he'll be able to chin Abbas Magomedov early. I don't think Magomedov's got the greatest chin. And if you don't have the greatest chin against Michelle Pahea, these are the type of fights he's going to do well. And I actually think like both of these guys have horrible cardio as well. So I mean, Abbas has looked better cardio wise when he wrestles, but I don't know if he can just wrestle Michelle Pahea. Like he's very physical, especially in the first round. This is a free rounder as well. I'm gonna go with Pahea just to get like a destruction finish here. I just think Fluffy Hernandez is really good. Not that Pahea is very bad. And it was just a stylistically horrible matchup for him. Then we have Giga Shikadze versus David Onama. I'm going to go with... This is a tough one. This is actually very tough. I think I'm going to go with Giga Shikadze here. He's 36, but Onama is a striker. He's powerful, don't get me wrong. But Shikadze can strike. He's a very good striker. He's got a long reach. They've got the same reach here, but Shikadze is a bit taller, longer legs, can kick a lot. We can see that Onama maybe has a bit of a sus chin. He's taken a lot of damage, and I think Giga Shikadze can like kick him from range a little bit here. Maybe gas him out, beat up the body. I'm gonna go Giga Shikadze. I like him here in this underdog spot. He hasn't, looked the greatest since returning from the Calvin Kattar fight, but having a decently close fight with Arnold Allen is pretty good. Arnold Allen's an underrated dude. Beat Caceres. Not many people beat the great Caceres. So yeah, I'm gonna go Giga Shikadze to beat David Onama. Then we have Anthony Smith versus Ming Yang Zhang. And you've got to go with Ming Yang Zhang because Anthony Smith, his last fight, came out crying. Got battered by Dominic Reyes, took an insane amount of damage. Before that, he lost to Roman Dolidze, where he just didn't look like he wanted to fight. He did beat Victor Petrino, but very flukish, if you will, and that's how he got that one. And then Khalil Rountree just battered him. Well, it was sort of competitive, but that was almost 2 years ago now, and he's taken so much damage since that fight. Like, he got 30-27 by Roman Dolidze. He got beaten up by Dominic Reyes. He's still always got a good chin, but I think Ming Yang Zhang, he's got so much momentum right now. He's a powerful dude. I think he's going to be able to knock him out, to be honest with you guys. So I'm going to go Ming Yang Zhang getting the KO over Anthony Smith to retire Anthony Smith Will he stay retired? Probably not. You know how MMA fighters are. They say they're going to retire, but I'm sure we'll be seeing Anthony Smith as Waldo Cortez Acosta before you know it. He'd be like, I found a new leaf. Like, I could just picture it. I can see it in my head. But who knows? Maybe Anthony Smith pulls this off, KOs Ming Yang Zhang, and goes on to win the belt. Who knows? But I doubt it. I'm going to go Ming Yang Zhang by brutal KO. The guy's very powerful. The guy's on an 11 fight winning streak. He did lose to the great Askar Mozarov. The guy who lied his way into the UFC. Yeah, he lost to him, which is very, very sus that he lost to that guy. So his chin, his chin is a bit sus. He's been KO'd a lot. But he's also just, I don't know, he found a new leaf. He's knocked out Ozzy Diaz, Brenson Ribeiro, Tuco Tokos. I just think an aging Anthony Smith is just probably going to get caught on the chin, right? But who knows? I could see a fluke. Not a fluke. I could see a fraud check here. Ming Yang Zhang has a lot of really bad losses, but that's early on in his career. And Anthony Smith has 21 losses. He's taken a lot of damage. So I'm going to go Ming Yang Zhang by KO. Then we have Ian Machado Garry versus Carlos Prates. Okay, so Ian Garry's the slight favorite. I understand that completely. I'm going with Ian Garry. I think he's going to beat Carlos Prates. I just think his grappling edge is going to be huge in this fight for him. I think he'll be able to mix in the grappling. I think he's a very good striker as well. People are acting like if this stays on the feet, Carlos Prates is immediately going to kill him. Carlos Prates is good, but people are overrating him a little bit. He knocked out Neil Magny. Let's chill out a little bit. I know Ian Machado Garry also beat Magny and he didn't knock him out, but he dominated him for a 30-26, 30-25 performance. And, he had a good fight against Shavkat Rakhmonov as well. I don't think Shavkat's this great unstoppable force people make him out to be. But, Ian Machado Garry, he almost subbed him, did good on the ground in that fight. I think he'll be able to take down Carlos Prates, mix up some grappling, maybe sub him, beat him up on the ground. But whatever it is, I think Ian Machado Garry will win this fight over Carlos Prates. But I can definitely see the danger here for Ian Garry. I think Carlos Prates can be able to catch him. He does have a longer reach. It'll be interesting to see Garry with this type of fighter. I think the only other guy who's fought with a longer reach was MVP. I think Shavkat may have had a longer reach, but it was only an inch or two, but a significantly longer reach. The only other person he fought was MVP, and that was a competitive fight to be fair, but I think MVP style is a bit harder to prepare for than Carlos Prates, typical Muay Thai fighter. Garry trains at shootbox as well. So, he's got a lot of Brazilian Muay Thai fighters he'll train with. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight, but I also like the short notice for Ian Garry. Carlos Prates was preparing for 3 rounds against Jeff Neal. Now, Carlos Prates, the chain smoker, as a 5-rounder, you're telling me, I don't know. I think his cardio is going to look really bad, especially if Gary's smart. He's going to move, attack the body, use a lot of takedowns, just tire out Carlos Prates, and I think he will be able to do that. Carlos Prates is a pack-a-day smoker, just doesn't stop smoking over and over again. It's a part of his brand, but it's what's going to fuck him over. I mean, the guy's 31. He's a chain smoker. He's been smoking probably since he was a kid. Drinks a lot as well. I just can't imagine his cardio is going to be that great, especially if Gary's fight's a very smart fight. Kicks to the body, takedowns, and then eventually gets this fight done. I'm going to go by decision or submission. So yeah, I'm going Ian Garry to beat Carlos Prates, but it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. Anyway, those are my predictions for UFC Fight Night Machado Garry versus Prates. And yeah, we'll see how we do this weekend. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe. Peace out. And yeah, thanks for watching. Catches.